Hello, English 2. My apologies for not being able to be here with you today, but I will be back tomorrow, except for you, period 1. I will see you guys on Thursday. All right, basically what I'm going to go over in this video is what you are now able to do as a result of the lessons that we went over last week, and then one additional slide category, okay? You guys at this point should be taking out the worksheet that you were provided last class. Okay, that worksheet, I'm going to show you where it is in my Google folders now, but it's called, okay, the steps to finish analysis, okay, and steps to work through the analysis of research. If you do not have this sheet, in other words, if you never received it, not that you lost it, but you never received it, there should be some extras in the front of class. Okay. If you did receive it and you lost it or misplaced it, I have also provided a copy on Google Classroom that you can take a look at. But this is what you will want to work through today and make sure you are done with by the time we meet again next class. Okay? All right. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the presentation exemplar right now, which at this point should be really familiar to you. And the things that we're going to quickly review are, again, the slides that you should be able to complete today as a result of the work that we did last class. Okay. As we talked about last class, we're at a point in our research project where you guys had done a lot of background research and really understood your project from a large perspective and understood the main issues within it. Now, what you're doing is choosing one specific focus area, right? So this is your focus category slide. Again, telling us which of the 3 categories you're choosing and what some of the subcategories are, okay, that you guys are going to be looking at. Also on the slide is the related research question. What specifically are you trying to answer in the second half of your presentation? And then generally speaking, what kind of information are you going to be analyzing to answer this question? Next, you have your slide on the research. You could do 2 slides for this. You could do context for the US and context for your foreign country, or you could put them on one slide like I have here. What this slide is for is to again give us a bit of an overview. What is the general idea of the specific research you're going to be looking at and the question that you're trying to answer, okay? Then you jump into the 3 steps of analysis that we reviewed last class. You choose one specific piece of research. Here, the research I've used is a statistic from a graph, and that's why these graphs are here. You might have a quote, you might have a statistic, you might have an opinion from somebody that's sharing a story. Any of those could be considered a piece of research, but it should be research that is directly related to the question you are trying to answer. So on this slide, just like we did last class, you are choosing one part of your research and you are trying to question it, asking a bunch of different questions to try to understand all of the things that are not said in the research. Once you question it, you can try to understand the so what. What is the significance of this? What does this research or this piece of information actually tell us? You'll see that I've included 3 kind of conclusions or 3 so whats. 3 is a very good number to aim for, okay, for each piece of information. The next step is the strengths and limitations, right? So again, of that one piece of research, that statistic or that anecdote, whatever it is, you are looking at what is strong about that information, right? What does it give you? What information does it provide? And what information does it not provide, right? What are you left wondering about? After those 3 slides, okay, and those, again, we went over last week, so if you're confused, review the work that we did last week on research analysis. The next slide actually just takes you into looking at 2 additional pieces of information. So you'll see on the steps to work through analysis research page, okay, on the second page, it says to choose 3 pieces of research to analyze that should all relate in some way. At this point on the exemplar, here are the other 2 pieces of research, and you'll see that one is just kind of an explanation, okay, and the other Only 13% of men who took parental leave received pay, compared with 21% for women, okay, is a specific statistic. And that's all that's on this page, right? Just the actual information. The next slide then repeats those two statistics or pieces of information, and then actually gives you the analysis. And again, analysis is really just the so what. So it might be helpful for you to remember here that the analysis is just the so what. So what is significant about these two pieces of data? What do they tell us? And you can use the sentence stems that we used last class. Okay. After that comes the reasonable conclusions slide. Both the reasonable conclusions and the new research questions slide, okay, we will review as a class together next class. They're things that won't take you a ton of time, okay, so don't worry too much about them. But at this point, you should spend the rest of class making sure that you are working through the steps to work through analysis of research checklist. All of this really should be done by next class. Okay, that way we can focus on the last handful of things that we need to get done and learn about before we can present our presentations at the end of the week. Okay, do your very best to go back to any videos you need to, taking a look at the exemplar slides, okay, and working with your group to get done what you need to get done today, and I will see you all next class.